Hi, back to ZHN. Today we are going to be taking a look at starter or entry level credit cards. These are credit cards that are targeted to people who have never had a credit card before, or people who are students, or people who have low credit history bad credit history and are working on their credit. The funny thing about credit cards is if you've never had one or if you have bad credit, when you go to apply for cards, most credit cards are taking a look at credit history and credit score to determine if you're eligible for a card. And nine times out of 10, you probably won't get a card because in order to get credit history or to start building your credit score, you need a credit card, but you cannot get a credit card without a credit history or a credit score. It's a whole loop thing that can be very frustrating for first timers who are looking to apply for a credit card, or for people who for whatever reason have bad credit history and are looking to rebuild their credit. Fortunately, there are credit cards out there that are tailored for students, tailored for first time credit card users, and for those who have low or no credit history. So, this month, the month of October 2024, I scoured and looked around and I came across three or four that I think will be beneficial for our target audience. So for students, first time credit card users, and those with low or no credit history. The first one is the Discover It Students Cashback Card. The card offers 5% cashback on rotating categories. So those categories change every quarter. This quarter might be gas. Next quarter might be groceries. Next one might be utilities, or it might be clothes. Whatever it is, whatever those categories are, it changes quarterly. You don't have to have a credit score to be considered for the card. It does offer cashback for the first year, and it's very useful for those who are building up or rebuilding um their credit. Now, I think there is a requirement for you to be a student in order to be eligible for the card. It comes with a very low credit limit because, again, if you're a student, you've never had a credit card and it's embarking on your credit journey, they don't want to give you too large a credit limit because there might be the tendency to spend a lot, get a lot of debt, and you don't have any job yet. So the credit card company is not going to get their money back, no matter what kind of interest they charge. Now, this card does have a high APR, just like most cards for those that are just starting out. And again, that happens because there is nothing for the credit card companies to rely on that tells them whether you are good at repaying your debts or not, or what your credit um history or credit habits look like just yet. So for this and for the next one we'll talk about, as always, my suggestion would be to make sure you are only spending what you can pay off. In a month, if all you can afford to pay is $150, spend $150 or less on that credit card so that it is easy for you to pay. You do not want to start out on your credit card journey carrying debts that you can easily pay off. And if you're building your credit, you definitely want to get into a habit of paying off your balance, because it is going to go a long way in improving or increasing your credit score. The second one is the Capital One Quicksilver Cash Rewards credit card. It offers 1.5% cash back on every purchase. Just like the Discover Student Cashback, it does come with a high APR. And the interesting thing with this card is you can be considered for a higher credit limit in about 6 months. So as you use this card and work on paying off your debt and showing a consistent habit of paying the card, paying on the card, within 6 months, they automatically assess to see if you can be considered for a higher credit limit. Now, Capital One does offer something called Credit Wise. You can log into it and monitor your credit score. I use it for my own Capital One accounts, and it will tell you from month to month what your credit score is, what contributed to improving it. Um, it will flag anything it thinks you can improve on, and give you kudos for things you have done well. For example, if you have no late payments, it will flag that. Like, it will go through and highlight things that are contributing to your credit score, either for it going up or for it going down. So it's very informative, and it comes free with the Capital One card. The next card is offered by Chime. It is called a secured credit card. All secured credit cards um, are secured with a deposit, meaning that almost like a prepaid card, if you will. Like, you deposit some money into a bank account, and that money, those funds are tied to a credit card, and you get to spend on the credit card up to the limit of the money you have in the bank account. And then that money is used to pay the card. Your credit limit is that deposit you've put down. And essentially what the credit card company is doing is, let's say you've put in like almost like a security deposit on an apartment. You've put in a deposit of $200 on a secured credit card. It means you have up to $200 to spend on that card at the end of the month. Not that $200, but you pay money on the credit card. That $200 serves as a deposit. If there is any month where you spent up to that amount, up to that 200, and you do not pay, then the bank uses that deposit to apply to the balance on the credit card, just like a landlord would your security deposit if you suddenly moved out and didn't pay them for the last month. So that's a quick crash course on secured credit card. Chime offers a really good one. However, your secure deposits needs to happen in a checking account. So when you apply for the credit card, you have to apply for their checking account as well, so that you can put in your deposit. There are no interest charges, there are no annual fees, they don't require a credit check. You just apply, and most of the time you are going to get the card, and then you need to apply for their account and put in a deposit. The last card we'll talk about is the Discover Rate Secured Credit Card. Just like with Chime, you need to put in a deposit, and Discover requires it to be a minimum of 200. You don't need a credit score. Um, like with any secured card, your credit limit is equal to the deposit amount. Two things that make it different from Chime is that your deposit can happen in any bank account. It doesn't have to be a Discover It checking account. And at the 7 month mark, they do automatic reviews for unsecured credit cards. So they're looking at your paying habits and your spending habits and so on and so forth. Like, are you paying in a timely manner? Are you paying what you are supposed to pay? Then they review to see if you are now ready to graduate to an unsecured credit card. It's a normal credit card, maybe deposit. So that is the Discover It Secured Credit Card. As always, there'll be links in the description for the cards we have talked about, and the links to find out more about them and to apply for them. If there are any topics surrounding personal finances or finances in general that you would like to see on the channel, do not hesitate to comment below. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for listening.